as someone who has dealt with a lot of grief in my life, one of my favorite booktubers just released her debut novel, and I've been waiting to read this book since she mentioned she was writing it back in 2024. It finally came out this week. I got my hands on a copy, and today I'm starting it immediately. It also has one of my favorite tropes, childhood friends to lovers. And if this gives me even half the feelings Love and Other Words did, I might just be obsessed. So today we're starting this together, and I'm taking you along for the reading experience. Good morning, friends, and welcome to the start of another vlog. It's a very gloomy day outside, so it feels like a good day to kind of like be in the house, just kind of hang out and read. So that is what the plan is. But before I actually pick up the book, I need to go make some breakfast. I went to the gym already this morning, which feels good, trying to get back into a routine. I've kind of been slacking a little bit there. But we're getting things back to normal. We're trying to get things back on track. I'm trying to get myself back to where I need to be and feel good about myself and feel like myself again. So with that being said, I'm going to go make some breakfast because I'm hungry. I don't even know what time it is. It's about to be 10 o'clock. So I'll make breakfast. After that, I think it's time to sit down and read Just Friends. I'm going to try to keep this video also as spoiler free as possible. So if you would like to watch this before you read, you can do that. Anyways, let's go make some breakfast. So I had breakfast, which thank God, because I was starving. I don't think I realized like how hungry I actually was until I sat down to eat. So that was good. And now I feel fueled and ready to go ahead and pick up the book. I am very, very excited to just see where this is going. Like I said, I've already gotten to chapter 2 in the book. And I have been very compelled to annotate as I go. She has like really good quote worthy stuff in here. So I'm going to go ahead, probably going to light a candle, get as cozy as possible here in my new little reading corner, which I kind of gave you guys a tour in my last video. So if you haven't checked that out, you can definitely do so. But I'm really happy about the arrangement. It is a little bit awkward because the bookshelf is right behind the chair, just based off of how everything else is positioned in the room. But I really wanted to be by the window. So I think with spring and summer upon us, it's going to be really nice to have the reading area nearby the window so we can get fresh air, look out and gaze at the people and people watch and get sun and all that great stuff. But anyways, let's go ahead and light a candle, I think, because it just feels like that would be a good idea right about now. Okay, so I just got to chapter 4. I do plan to continue to read in just a minute here, but I have some thoughts so I want to share. First, I have to say her writing style is very, very cute. It so far has a lot of really cute quotes that are also really descriptive and draw me in, and that's why I felt very motivated to annotate this book. I'll read a couple of the quotes that I've annotated so far. Let's see here. What's this one? So this one, wow, I didn't even realize it was that many pages back. It says, his face became my entire view, obstructing the damp blades of fake grass in the bright yellow field gold post. I don't know why, but that just seems really, really descriptive and beautiful, and I can see that scene come to life based off of how she kind of worded that, which I really like. And then this last one here, she said, I drifted off to sleep with a dumb smile on my face. My dreams were filled with birds with hilarious bright cerulean feet dancing and offering pebbles to win each other's affection. I love that. I think that is just, I don't know, there's something that's really nice about her writing. And I think pieces of the cover are starting to like come together, and I'm starting to understand why there are some of these elements that are depicted on the cover. Oh, okay, this is so cute. I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but this is actually very, very cute. Just looking at the small details. I was talking to Anthony about this not last night, but I think it was like Thursday night or something like that. Books, when you like after you read them and you look back on the cover, you really look at it and you say, oh, now I get it. Like sometimes you just look after the fact and you're like, that makes sense as to what all of these little elements are, and I'm starting to piece things together, and I'm loving it. Oh my, I'm loving this book so far, guys. And I'm not even saying that because I am biased, and that I'm not saying that because I'm biased and that I love Haley and her YouTube channel. I really truly didn't know what to expect. I think there was a lot of discourse around the book when the ARCs became available, and a lot of, I don't want to say a lot, there were some people that got early access to the books. And what I remember one particular video where the girl was talking about how she definitely referenced a thesaurus for a lot of her words, and quite frankly, I don't care if she did or she didn't. I like that. I like that she's using these big words to really describe a scenery. They don't feel overly out of place to me. They actually kind of work pretty seamlessly with her writing, and I love it. I think she's also taken a lot of, she's reflected a lot on the authors that she loves and enjoys, and kind of implements little bits and pieces of their own writing and created something new to kind of bring her voice as a writer out. And I really love that. So I don't know. So far, I am enjoying it. It is a childhood friends to lovers, second chance romance kind of trope. And it also deals with a layer of grief. I don't know how deep that goes, so as I continue to read, I'll let you guys know if it's pretty heavy, but I would say always go in with a grain of salt. If things like grief are hard for you, then you want to be cautious, knowing that going into that, it does deal with that topic. And then I was going to say something else. What else did I want to say? Oh, and another thing that I love is a good old past present timeline, which Love in Other Words also had, and she's doing that in this book. And I didn't really know how I felt about like the cover. The cover was very cartoonish, and to me just felt like it didn't really bring it to life. But now as I'm reading it, I'm really reflecting more on it, and I think the cover does suit the book. But she has these little headers at the beginning of each chapter, and what I like about it, since it's past present timeline, this header is for present, and then you've got this header as like going into the past 6 years. So I'm excited. I feel like there is going to be some kind of unresolved conflict that has happened. There's been hints of that so far, and we've also already met our male main character, so our MMC. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna keep reading and I'll let you guys know what I think from there. I do also want to mention, if you get your hands on one of the first editions or first copies of the book, there are some nice little elements that has been implemented to really kind of make that special, and you'll only get that when you get the first edition. But one thing is the inside of the book cover has these cute little illustrations inside. She also has a page that is in the very beginning here. Oh my god, I didn't even read the dedication. Okay, I need to come back and read that. She also has this page here that she has handwritten. And I love how she says reader pops, because that's been a thing of hers for a while. And then in the back, she has a whole section where she actually annotates the first chapter, I believe it is. Let's see. It says, okay, so here we go. And this is Turn the Page for an exclusive behind the scenes annotated chapter by Haley. And this, I think, is like, it's not the first chapter actually. It's a couple chapters in, I'm assuming, because this shows that it's 102 pages into the book. But I'm just so excited. Do you want to say that there's a lot of resemblance on the cover between her and her husband Ryan, and so I wonder if she was very influenced by their own relationship, and that's kind of how she was motivated to kind of write this story. I'm not sure, but I also believe that, like, as a writer, it's probably pretty hard not to add elements of yourself or your life experiences into the book. But her dedication here is for Ryan, and it says, "For Ryan, who made my life a romance book before I discovered them." That's cute. That's really cute. Oh my gosh. Okay. I love this book already. I hope that I will continue to love this book as I continue to read. I'm sorry that the lighting is so horrendous right now. It's just really dark and gloomy outside because the weather has just been rainy like this all week. So we're rocking with what we got. All right, little hearts. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading now. I know that my dog wants me to shut up so she can sleep in peace. And then, I don't know how much more I'm going to read right now. These chapters are not very long, so I'll see if I can read maybe like 2 or 3 more chapters. And I'll probably take a little bit of a break and rest, because my head is still hurting. I think it's because I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. So, I'm going to stop talking. Actually sad but beautiful at the same time. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but oh my gosh, this book is really making me feel all the feels. And one thing I love is when reading a book is how it can transport me to a time and a place that I've never been and experience life through someone else's eyes. And that is what I feel while reading this book. It's hard for me to imagine that this is her debut novel, I think she isn't just a reader. I think she was meant to be a writer. I think she has done something really beautiful here so far. I am really like enjoying this book. I am now on chapter 8 and I'm 76 pages in, and I'm not gonna spoil anything, but as I mentioned, it does deal with grief as a part of the plot, and we just got to a pretty hard scene, and as someone who has dealt with a lot of grief in my life, and a lot of loss, that scene was really beautiful, but also hard, because it really kind of made me think about my own experiences, and I don't know. I love it. I love that I'm feeling all these feelings even though it's hard, but oh my God. I will say this is definitely making me think a lot more about love in other words, and I kind of was thinking, what's made me love that book so much? Like, what about it made me feel so attached to it? And I think for one, I felt really invested in our characters. I felt invested in the environment that the story took place, and the love that was kind of building between our two main characters. And that is what's happening for me in this book as well. I feel like I am really invested in our characters, and not just our main characters, but the supporting characters, like Blair's mom, Blair's great aunt Lottie, Declan, like all of these people I feel invested in and want to know more. I can vividly see every scene taking place. I really feel transported reading this book, and it's nice to experience that. It's nice to find a romance book that is making me feel all of these things. And yeah, wow, this last scene really did just punch me when I didn't expect that. And I love that I didn't expect that. Oh my God. Okay, I think I am going to try to read, we'll see. Oh my God. I'm going to try to read this next chapter and maybe take a quick little break to rest my eyes, because I've been reading so much today. This is not the only book I've read today. But yeah, anywho. I can't believe this made me cry. What the heck? I am aware it looks like I've probably never left from this spot, but I have. It is, I think a little bit after 4 now. I don't have my phone and I can't see the clock, but yeah, it's a little bit after 4 now, and I have been just really and truly taking my time reading this book, but also flying through it. I took a little bit of a break after I got to, I think, like chapter 10, and I am now currently on, sorry, I'm trying to go back because the chapter I'm actually on just says after, so I don't, okay, so I'm on chapter 12 basically. This has been a really good time. I think I was a little bit hesitant and nervous to read this because of all of the negative reviews, hearing what people had to say online, seeing like the 1-star reviews on Goodreads it left me feeling a little bit nervous, but I told myself, when it comes down to it, I have to ignore all those things, go in with my own opinion, and I don't feel the same as those reviews. I'm really loving it. I'm having a good time. I'm still annotating whatever, like, just basically touches me. And yeah, I love it. This book makes me smile. I wanted to share another quote that I have here that I annotated. I'll start at the beginning of this paragraph because I feel like if I just go right into the quote, it won't make a whole lot of sense. But it says, "As the silence rings out in the wake of our call, I picture myself floating out at sea, the tide taking me further and further from the shore. I begin to struggle, but no one on land seems to notice. I can keep waiting for a while, I think to myself, and kick my feet harder." Oh my God. That feels like me 24/7 right now. I feel like I've reached a point in my life where I'm very overwhelmed with all the responsibilities that come with being an adult, and just life is hard right now. There's a lot of stressors, a lot of scary things happening in the world, and that quote really resonated with me. I feel like I say it all the time, where I feel like I am at shore, just trying to keep my head afloat. And that quote made me immediately think of that. And it's nice when you can relate to something that you're reading. So very, very loving, very much enjoying the book. It is very cute, but it does have a good balance of heartfelt moments, and I think we're really starting to get closer to unpacking what happened between our two love interests. So I am excited to see what's going to happen with that. Question mark. I don't know what the catalyst is going to be. I have an idea because they keep alluding to something, but you never really know. And even though the conflict in this one seems like it is a bit obvious, I still really don't know what's going to happen, and I am wondering if I'm going to have the same reaction. We'll find out, I guess. I don't know if I'll finish the book today. To be honest, I've been reading a lot, so I have a goal right now just to get to the 200 page mark, and if I can get there, then I think I'll feel pretty good with where I'm at. I did get a lovely notification that my book of the month box is here, so I'm gonna run and go grab that and show you the books that I got for my pick of March. Did I say that right? I will show you the books that I picked for March from book of the month. I am really excited. I actually picked 2 of the books that were book of the month picks this month. They just sounded really interesting, and I'm really trying to explore different types of books that maybe I wouldn't normally gravitate towards. So we'll see how that goes. But let's go actually get the books, because I have to go down to, I think, the package room to go find them. Which, our package room here is so dysfunctional. It's horrible. But anyways. I have returned with the box. I'm so excited. I've actually been really anticipating this box more, I think, than I have in previous months. So very exciting. I have had book of the month for, has it been a year now? Maybe next month will be a year. Anyways, got a new hat. Well, what is it? Well read? Yeah, khaki. It's cool. Like that. Nice material. It's cute. I like it. Oh, I never even noticed this. We have another book of the month hat, but I never noticed that it says book of the month inside it. So I don't know if my other one does, and it does. I do know that the side says that. But anyways, to the books. So First book I picked up was this one right here, which is called Love is an Algorithm, and this is by Laura Brooke Robson. Sorry, I had to look at that. I almost said Robinson, but that's a nice looking book. I can't remember exactly everything that I read in the synopsis, but I think it's like a guy creates like this dating app or something like that. And yeah, so this one basically has like involvement of AI in the dating app, which then starts making people outsource this AI more for like big life decisions and things like that, which I feel like is so relatable, because that's kind of where we are at in the world right now, with AI being so heavily used, I think, in so many different formats and sources. I mean, I can think of almost every app that I go to, like Headspace or ChatGPT or Gmail. Like, there's so many different apps that have some form of AI implemented into the software, which is crazy. But and the other book that I picked up, Almost Life. This sounded really good. I think it is told over like a course of years. I mean, like a lifespan. I think these two women meet each other in their like 20s or something like that in Paris, and they develop like a relationship, but it kind of is at a time period where it's not really, I guess, acceptable. So they're very secretive about their relationship, and they go through other relationships, marriages, all sorts of stuff, but they always end up back in each other's circle. So yeah, I don't know, that one also sounded really good, so I picked this one up. And then of course you always get a bookmark. This one is cute. Yay! I'm very excited about those books. And I didn't realize Book of the Month has been around since 1926. They're celebrating their 100th year, which is pretty interesting. Hello friends, it's been a couple days since I last talked to you. I think the last time I talked to you guys was when I was filming the video originally, which was Saturday. So it's a couple of days. It's now Wednesday, and I finished Just Friends. I also just finished getting back from the gym, but I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys before I forget the things that I would like to say. So, as I mentioned, I finished Just Friends by Haley Pham, and I am very thankful that I had the opportunity to actually get to read her debut novel. Like I said, being someone that has been a supporter of hers for a couple of years now, it's very exciting to see her chase after her dreams, and this is that embodiment of her dreams, which is crazy. Her having the physical form of her book and in readers' hands is literally the physical embodiment of her dream, and I am glad to be a part of that. I do want to go ahead and share my final thoughts. I'm not gonna go into grave detail because, again, trying to keep this as spoiler free as possible. But did I just get a notification saying that there's a tornado warning? It does look quite scary outside right now. Just got very overcast out of nowhere. The weather's also been extremely weird, so we'll see what happens. Anyways, Just Friends is overall a sweet, easy read. I enjoyed this. I think in the beginning I was very much locked into the story. I think when I got to about the, 50% mark, I was really invested in seeing where this book was going to go, where our characters were going to go. I think she has so many beautiful quotes in this book as well. But I do have some thoughts on the book as a whole. I think that it reads very young, which that there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But I do think this would really suit a younger audience much more. I think that I'm just going to come out and say it. I think the conflict, she played it safe. I think she could have pushed it a little bit further. I think she played a little bit safe, but it also really makes sense because when I think about the age range that these two characters were in when the conflict happened, it makes sense. So it didn't need to be some catastrophe, and I need to be okay with knowing that it's not everything needs to be this big, oh my God moment or whatever catastrophe it may be. I think I'm just very much accustomed to that. Maybe a little too used to that, so maybe not in the best light. I don't mean it in a bad way. I think for her debut novel, she did an amazing job. She really did. But I kind of was hoping for a little bit more because there were so many instances where I was smiling and laughing at the book or crying, as you guys would have seen. But it fell kind of flat. It was also something that I thought was easily guessable. Overall, I think she did a really good job at writing this book. I mean, that's insane. She wrote a whole book. And if you're looking for something that is super sweet, fast-paced, easy to read, quotable, something that you can envision as you're reading, because she has a lot of descriptive words in here. You like small towns. This is going to be one that you're going to want to pick up. But I do want to also remind you, go into it with caution because it does deal with grief. And also, don't take what I say and run with it. You need to form your own opinion. I think that is the biggest thing that I've learned from this reading experience with Just Friends. I was very eager, very excited to read her book when it was first announced. And then when people started getting ARC copies, I started to get a little bit nervous because there was a lot of negative things that were being said that I still do not necessarily agree with. I think she did a really amazing job at writing. Like, I'm actually in awe that she did this. But there were things I think that she can do better, but with time, she is going to naturally improve on those things. If she decides to write another book, she is naturally just going to get better because she is going to understand herself as a writer more and more. So I have full faith in her, and I'm not concerned with that whatsoever. But I am still grinning ear to ear because I've gotten a chance to read her book. And every time I look at this book, I just smile because I'm like, wow, she really did this. She really did this. That's incredible. That is incredible. I feel like I was going somewhere with my thought, but I started going off and explaining myself a bit. So I kind of lost my train of thought. You don't want to let anyone's thoughts or opinions sway you from reading this book. That's what I was saying earlier. I got really apprehensive, even though I was extremely excited about it to begin with, just because I was hearing other people's thoughts. But now that I have read it for myself and experienced it for myself, I'm very glad that I did. I think she did an amazing job. And I'm just glad and thankful for the experience of reading her debut novel. But overall, I think I'm going to give this book a 3.5 stars. I don't think it is quite I think I might have to sit on it. Because when I truly think about my reading journey with this book, I read almost all of this book in one day. I think overall she did a really good job. So now I just don't really know what I want to rate it. I might sit on this and I'll put it up here, right here, once I've decided what the actual rating is. But right now I'm gonna settle on a 3.5 stars just because I did really enjoy it. I thought it was beautiful. I thought the scenic descriptions were amazing. It was very quotable, but I wanted a little bit more between our love interests and their dynamic and their conflict, and I just wanted to see a little bit more of that. That is all that I have for you guys in this video. If you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments down below, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Also, do you have any fun, exciting plans coming up for the spring/summertime? It's getting warmer here and I'm getting very excited. Let me know if you have any plans. Okay, I'm gonna go now and stop being weird. All right, I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.